Imagine saving millions of dollars on import duties legally. How do some businesses manage to sidestep hefty tariffs and still comply with international trade laws? The secret lies in a decades-old legislation called the First Sale Rule. Stick around as we unravel how savvy companies are using this rule to their advantage and what it means for the future of global trade. Welcome to our deep dive into the First Sale Rule, a little-known yet powerful tool that businesses are increasingly turning to amid rising tariffs. Originally introduced in 1988, this rule allows U.S. importers to calculate customs duties based on the first sale price of an item, not the price it was sold for to the U.S. retailer. This means that rather than paying duties on a marked-up price, companies can base their import costs on the initial transaction value from the manufacturer. As tariffs have become a substantial financial burden, especially under recent trade policies, the first sale rule is gaining renewed attention. Today, we'll explore how this rule functions, what criteria businesses must meet to apply it, and who stands to gain the most from its implementation. The first sale rule is a game changer in the world of international trade. It allows businesses to significantly cut down on the costs associated with importing goods. The mechanics are straightforward, yet require diligence. A Chinese manufacturer sells a product to a Hong Kong vendor at a factory price, and this vendor then sells it to a U.S. retailer with a markup. The beauty of the first sale rule is that the U.S. company can base their customs duty on the original factory price rather than the marked-up price. This is not only legal, but also strategically advantageous, particularly in high-value industries like luxury goods and consumer electronics, where margins are crucial. However, applying the first sale rule is not without its challenges. Companies need to ensure that all transactions are conducted at arm's length and that sufficient documentation proves the initial sale price and the item's destination in the U.S. Despite these hurdles, the potential savings can be substantial. Major players like Moncler and Kuros Biosciences have already started leveraging this rule, showcasing significant cost benefits. This strategy also demands a high level of trust between all parties involved, especially since vendors might be reluctant to disclose the initial sale price. Yet, as international trade becomes more complex, the first sale rule is emerging as a vital tool for companies looking to maintain competitiveness and protect their bottom line. The first sale rule is becoming an increasingly popular method for businesses to mitigate the financial impacts of tariffs, especially during the heightened tensions between the U.S. and China regarding trade policies. This rule, embedded within U.S. customs law, provides a legal avenue for U.S. importers to significantly reduce their import duty payments. The mechanism is surprisingly simple, yet ingenious. It allows importers to calculate customs duties based on the initial sales price in a chain of transactions, rather than the final inflated price that might include overheads and profit margins from intermediary parties. Let's take a closer look at how this functions in practice. For instance, suppose a Chinese factory sells a t-shirt to a Hong Kong intermediary for $5. This intermediary then sells the same t-shirt to a U.S. retailer for $10. However, under the first sale rule, the U.S. retailer can choose to pay import duties based on the original $5 price, not the $10. The outcome is substantial savings on import duties, as the added cost from the intermediary does not factor into the calculation. Brian Gleicher, a senior lawyer at Miller & Chevalier Chartered, explains that companies utilize this by working closely with their suppliers to ensure transparency and documentation of these initial sales transactions. This approach to tariffs is not new. It's been available since 1988, but has gained traction once more due to the imposition of new tariffs under the Trump administration. Companies across industries are now revisiting this technique, with notable interest from higher-end sectors such as luxury goods due to their larger profit margins. Imagine the scenario of a luxury fashion brand where the industrial cost of producing an item is significantly lower than its final retail price. Applying the first sale rule here would mean duties are calculated on this lower industrial price, effectively slashing costs. This is why brands like Moncler have flagged it as significantly beneficial, citing it as a cost-saving measure during investor calls. So, how do businesses operationalize the first sale rule? Although it sounds straightforward, there are several prerequisites and considerations that businesses must navigate. First, there need to be at least two distinct sales transactions, one between the producer and an intermediary, and another from the intermediary to the importer. All parties involved must be independent and unrelated, maintaining an arm's-length distance in operations. Additionally, there must be compelling proof that the goods are destined for the U.S., and meticulous documentation of the first sale price is imperative. The burden of proof in providing this data rests on the shoulders of the importer, which can sometimes be a challenging journey. Vendors, particularly those unfamiliar with the rule, might be hesitant to divulge such pricing structures or the necessary documentation. Rich Taylor, a consultant with experience advising businesses on leveraging the first sale rule, mentions that a level of trust and cooperation is vital among all parties to make this work. The potential for cost savings is immense, making the complexities worth the effort. Companies embracing this rule are not only reducing their costs, but also gaining a competitive edge. If competitors are using the first sale rule to lower their prices and you're not, your market position might be at risk. This strategy is not just for luxury brands. Companies like Kuros Biosciences and US BBQ maker Traeger acknowledge its utility in minimizing duty costs, highlighting its versatility across different sectors. It's clear that those navigating these international waters are increasingly turning to the first sale rule to sidestep the financial burdens of new tariffs. It's a clever adaptation to policy shifts aimed originally at encouraging onshoring and revamping tariff revenues, which, ironically, may be undermined by this very legal workaround. While some see it as saving their supply chains, others might view it as a loophole counterproductive to tariff goals. In summary, the first sale rule represents a strategic, cost-saving opportunity for businesses navigating the complex landscape of international trade. This rule, dating back to 1988, has become increasingly relevant in the face of rising tariffs and global economic tensions. It allows importers to base their customs duties on the initial sale price from the manufacturer, rather than the marked-up price upon entering the U.S. market. This capability is particularly advantageous for industries with high-value goods, like luxury fashion and biotech, where profit margins can be significantly affected by tariff costs. To apply the first sale rule, businesses must meet specific criteria. There must be at least 2 sales involving independent and unrelated parties, proof that the product was intended for the U.S. market, and detailed documentation of the first sale price. These requirements necessitate a strong, trust-based relationship between importers and vendors, as vendors may be hesitant to share sensitive pricing information. Despite these challenges, the potential savings are considerable, providing companies with a competitive edge. As seen with companies like Moncler and Traeger, the first sale rule is a viable method for reducing costs and maintaining market competitiveness amid fluctuating trade policies. While it may inadvertently counteract tariff objectives to increase onshoring and tariff revenues, its legal status and cost benefits make it an attractive option for businesses worldwide. As the landscape of international trade continues to evolve, the first sale rule is poised to play a crucial role in the strategies of forward-thinking companies, ensuring they remain agile and financially robust in an ever-changing global market. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content on business strategies and global trade. Check out our other playlists, Wall Street, Companies, and Investment 101, for in-depth analyses and tips to stay ahead in the business world. Stay informed and keep thriving.